Well, the world is waiting with bated breath for the International Court of Justice to deliver on its ruling on South Africa's case against Israel in terms of genocide. Pretoria has requested the intervention of the World Court with the aim of stopping Israel's bombardment on Gaza. For more on this, I'm joined by SABC International News Editor Sophie Mokoena. Very good afternoon, Sophie. So there are reports that the ruling could come as early as Friday. How true is this?
Well, clearly we are waiting for the International Criminal Court to communicate a message in terms of the date, but there are reports that there is expectation that this will happen this Friday, but what I do know is that the judges were still deliberating on this matter, and therefore I think it's safe to say very soon. We know that, as I pointed out when I was in The Hague, the ICJ, that it will take probably 10 days, and we can expect a judgment before end of January. And also, on the other hand, we have people with better insight in terms of how the court is operating, saying that because this is an urgent matter. And secondly, let us remember, it is not a judgment on whether Israel has committed a genocide. It is the intent. And therefore, because there's intention to do this, please stop them from doing this. And therefore, that's the clarity that we must always have in terms of what this matter is all about. And therefore, it is possible that we can get a judgment soon. We know that the court will issue a statement and media invite, and also the delivery of this ruling, not even a judgment, will be in public, and therefore we will definitely have information. There will be a feed available from The Hague when this the ruling is delivered. But secondly, we know that when I spoke to Dr. Navi Pillay, she pointed out that this is quite important, and therefore the judges are fully aware, and the court, the World Court, is fully aware that this matter is urgent. You know that in recent times, the Secretary General of the United Nations, his words and the statements that he has issued in the past few days show that there is a crisis in the Middle East, and therefore something must be done. Last night, he made a similar strong statement, and therefore I think even the court is monitoring these kinds of statements, and being an organ of the United Nations, I think very soon we will definitely know whether what South Africa has requested in terms of provisional measures they have been granted.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, this is an urgent matter. The bombardment continues, and of course, Israel seems to be, undeterred. They're continuing with their push to achieve their goals. But how is the international community reacting to this? We know that there's a lot of division around the world on this.
You saw the divisions yesterday, last night, when the Security Council was discussing this matter, and you had ministers who are part of the Security Council group in terms of 15 countries, you have permanent 5, and those who are on the Security Council on rotational basis, that there is a division in terms of what needs to be done, but there's a sense of understanding that this is a crisis. The Secretary General, the tone, his speech yesterday, his speech at the non-aligned movement, his speech when he was addressing the G77 plus China in Uganda, he was quite clear that we are facing a serious crisis. And I think those utterances and statements will find expression in terms of the ruling that will be delivered by the International Court of Justice. We know that other countries also have indicated that there must be an urgent meeting, Russia, China, in terms of discussing the issue of two-state solution. We know that the Middle East countries in the Gulf and also in the Middle East region, members of the Arab League have called for an urgent meeting to discuss a peace process. We know that Hamas has rejected Israel's proposal that there be a humanitarian ceasefire for 2 months. Hamas is saying no humanitarian ceasefire, but permanent ceasefire. And many countries are saying it must be a permanent ceasefire.
Yes, thanks very much. That was Sophie Mokoena, international news editor here at the SABC.